Hey guys, so this is part 2 of Christmas Crafty or Crafty Christmas Week. I'm going to be talking to you about some stuff about magazine, like the paper that you'll be using. Okay? So if you are using magazine paper, the magazine papers that I would recommend, it's not something that you have to do, but it's just something that I would recommend you to do, is to use papers that either have big pictures or like pretty like complicated pictures, or like what I really, if you were selling this craft, if I were your customer, what I would really look to is if you are making snowflakes and selling them, what I would really look to is like some words and like pictures if you use magazine paper. Now, why I use magazine paper is that, like, in my house we have like a ton of useless magazine paper, and this is a way to not really waste magazine paper, is that you just make crafts out of them, and which is what I really like, because you can make like magazine paper wallets, magazine paper, even snowflakes like I am doing here today, and a lot of stuff that you can do. So this is one piece of paper that I have, and it looks like this. Okay, so what I really would look to if you're selling these, if you're selling snowflakes like I am, if you used magazine paper, is that I would look for, like, because you only use one piece of paper, is what I would look to is like some parts have pictures, some parts have words. So if I were you and if I was using magazine paper, I would pick a paper like the one that I have here. It has pictures and words. So there's words on the bottom and there's pictures on the top. Now I have another one that I have. I'm going to show you actually the other side of the paper that I just showed you, and it's this beach picture. And what I like about this picture is that there's these small pictures on the bottom. Huh? Tomorrow's Kumon? I thought there's break. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that, but there's like pictures on the top and there's these little pictures on the bottom. And this is actually, I think it's a commercial. But there's also these words, like this whole thing is just one picture basically. But it has like some other pictures added onto this picture, and there's also words added onto it. So you'd see all these colorful colors, and also you'd see words. Okay? So that's another thing that you can use. And I have another paper here. And this bottom here has this big, humongous paper. If you can see. Not a big, humongous paper, a big, humongous picture. And on the top, it has some words and writing. So the whole thing's just like this. So the top has words and the bottom has pictures. Okay, so that's the picture stuff. Okay, and then the other side of this is this. It's this wild picture, I would guess. I didn't read all of these. I just randomly picked it, and I'm just looking at it and saying stuff that I think. Okay, it's not true, but there's like these wild pictures over there and here, And what there is that there's one picture, and then there's words on the bottom. One picture, words on the bottom. And there's this words, like there's words, pictures, words, pictures. And then there's a line of word right there. And yeah. So this is another piece of paper that you could use, is that where it's words, like a picture, word, which is what I call the mix match. I call it mix match magazine papers. It's just what I call it, but yeah, because there's like mix match, which is like I guess like there's words and pictures and they just mix together, but they also match each other, okay? Now, if you are like picking magazine paper out of like a magazine like I have here, I'm just flipping through this magazine and like you could just scroll through. Like this one is a mixed match one, except it goes like straight across instead of downwards, like this one. And this one, it talks about like, I'm guessing hotels, I guess. So it has this, like it's words, picture, except it goes straight across. So there's like this line where it's words and this line where it's pictures. So this paper would definitely work. So how I would do this is I would pick them out, right? And then I would just tear them out. So I'm going to tear this out of this camera, but you get what I mean. Like I would probably have like this stack of paper, which is magazine paper, and this other stack, which is just the papers that I use, okay? Now another thing that I do is that I look for the other side of the paper that I just took. So this was the one that I was talking about, like the hotels. And if you flip it around, it's like the same theme straight across, except it only has 3. So this one had 5, and this one only has 3. But the good thing is that this one, it still has the kind of technique that I want, okay? So that's another thing that I look for magazine papers. Okay, and then you could also look, like this is one of the right on picture, I call it right on picture ones, and which is the one over here, except it's a different right on picture. So this basic picture is this one. Okay, and then they add like all these other pictures which are right on. Okay, so if you didn't have all these, they would show like some stuff that was beside this. They would show like more leaves over here to that leaf, like that tree part, and then they would also show their like legs over here, and then more of that back building, and it would show more of a sky in the back. And it would have more details if nothing was here. But they added pictures right on top, so it's a right on top picture. Now you need to check on the other side if it's the one that you want. Now this other side is actually a one that I want. This one is something that's like this. Or if you would say something that's like this. So all these 3 are kind of like the same technique that they used here. That one is words on the top and then some pictures on the bottom. And then this one is pictures on the top but words on the bottom. And then this one is same thing, it's words on the top and pictures on the bottom. So these 3 are all the same techniques, so that one would be a good one too. So I'm just going to rip that one out of camera. So I'm going to set my camera down and then rip this out. Because this one is a really good one. Because as you can see on the other side, it has words right here. And then like some pictures on the side right here. And then the main picture right here. So that one's a good one. So now, I was looking, while I was tearing out, I noticed this picture and this picture. This picture is a commercial about this phone, I'm guessing. And it's a right on top picture too. If you would compare this to this one, put this over here, and this one, these two are more similar to those two. So these two are really similar, but this one's more similar to this one than that one. Okay, so these three are kind of like the same technique that they used. And so yeah, so this one would be a good one, but you always need to check the other page, the other side of the page. So this one uses the same technique. Oh, how amazing. There's another straight across one. Now this one is more similar to that one, if you guys can kind of tell. So yeah, there's a lot of pages. I'm not going to talk about like this flip through this whole magazine, but yeah, now let's talk about the other paper that you can use. So you can also use computer paper, which is just, or you could call printing paper, which is just like a paper and both sides is white. It doesn't have any words on it or anything. Not like magazines, there's colors or anything like that. It's just plain white paper, and it's shaped in a rectangular. It's rectangular. So either sides, both of it is white. You can color it. You can use colored paper too, but I don't have colored paper. Okay, now the other paper is this scratch paper. My family has a ton of these, which I get from not really my uncle, but one of my relatives. So this paper is actually math, but it is scratch paper. So one side has all this words and stuff like that, but the other is just plain white, like the printing paper. Now this paper is actually kind of old. It's yellower than that paper, if you guys can kind of tell. So that's printing paper and that's scratch paper. So yeah, you can kind of tell between the color, and this one's like more pale and this one's like yellowish. But this one is just like blank on the other side, but words on this side, so you could use this paper too. Now, sometimes people are all like, when you're making craft, you need to make sure that you use paper that is computer paper, which is white on both sides. You actually don't have to use that type of paper. You could use magazine paper, like I showed you there, and like the papers that you use over here. You could use just, like they say, computer paper. And you could also use like scratch paper. You could even use papers that you did like your math problems on and just use that for your craft. Because it's like written in pencil or pen and it has all that stuff on it. So you could use that too. But yeah, you could use all kinds of paper. And then so I'm going to talk more about this magazine paper, okay? So, magazine paper, if you are using magazine paper, I actually definitely recommend making crafts out of magazine paper. Because, getting magazines, you kind of have to pay for it. My family has a ton of magazines, if you guys can see. Right there, that's a ton of magazines that my dad uses. Okay, so magazines up there. And we also have magazines inside, but I'm not going to go all the way inside and show you it. But, so yeah, my family has a lot of magazines, and they paid money to buy it. So, there's some magazines that they don't use anymore, like the one that I'm using here, which I can use to make crafts. So, instead of kind of wasting it, you can still use it to make crafts. So, like I said, there's a lot of details in magazine paper that I would definitely recommend. So